Hey, so when there are changes that have been made in the new NQT, so the process has been changed a little bit. So if you haven't already watched the video related to it, you can click on the card that's above to have a look at the changes and the updates that they have done. And when there are changes in the process of the updated NQT that's going to happen in February, the registration process has also been slightly modified, irrespective of whether you have already registered or you are a fresh registrant. So this video is going to be in two parts. If you are a person who has taken the NQT in the October, or if you are a person who has not yet taken the NQT, we have covered both the registration processes. So if you belong to the latter, you can directly continue with this particular flow of the video. If you are the former, that is, if you had registered in the October part, then I would advise you to skip the first initial parts and directly go to the timestamp given in the description so that you'll have a better understanding of things. So without any further delay, let's dive into the video.
So if you're a fresh registrant, you will obviously have to go to your browser first. Then you'll have to click on this link, and this link is already given in the description, so you can copy from there. You hit enter. So once you hit on enter, it will redirect you towards this particular page, the landing page where you've got all the details related to NQT, the live chat support and all that. So that this is already having my name because I had logged in. So let me just tell you, uh, let me just log in as a fresh user. Right, so this is how it'll pop up. The button would say register now. So when I click on register now, since it already has my data, it would show my name. But you can click on create an account if you do not have already an account with TCS Eon Digital Learning Hub. If you already have an account, you can log in as a new user if you haven't logged into NQT. Right, so there are two options over here. So I'll go ahead and click on as a login as a new user. Okay, so when you click on this, you will probably have to create a account if you do not have an account. So let me just start from creating account. Okay, so you would have to fill up your uh, name. Then you'd have to fill up your email ID. So I'll just give the email ID over here. Okay, so password related to the email ID, confirming password, phone number. Now, this you'll have to be pretty careful because it will ask for a OTP generation, so you'll have to give a legit phone number over here. Uh, so okay, the password has to be having a character and stuff like that. So see, okay, right. Phone number. Let's give the phone number. Validate number. So when I have done this, I am supposed to get a message and you'll probably get a mail. Now this might take some time because of in a lot of traffic, but yeah, it'll not be more than a minute. So please have patience over here. So give on validate OTP. So once your OTP is verified, if you are a minor, I don't think you guys will be, but you can click this accordingly. And you can click on the captcha. So KEBYYMY. All right. So you'll have to be careful over here as well, or else it'll keep on repeating you to click on the details and all that things, right? So please be careful while you type the captcha. You can click on this consent and the privacy notice, whatever you have. So you'll have to click on this. I have read, agreed, and understood the privacy notes. And I think there is one more. Yeah, you'll have to click on all these privacy notes. And terms of use, yeah, you'll have to click on read everything, and you'll have to click on I have read, agreed, and understood the terms. So only then you'll be getting the OK button highlighted. You can click on the OK button, and then finally you can click on create account. So once you have created the account, this would remember your password. If you do not want the password to be remembered, you can click on no. So you can choose the state from where you want to give your test, or where you reside. So you can decide that accordingly. So I'll just give Tamil Nadu. Continue. Okay, so you can see it's redirecting you. So now what has happened, right, so this page is where you would have to fill up all the details required. So you can see the name is already there, Akshay Kumar, and email ID is already there. So if you want to make any changes to the email ID, please make sure you do it over here right now once it redirects you to this particular page. That's because once you've confirmed it, once you give your examinations, you'll not be able to change your email IDs. So this is what the people who have taken already the exams in October, that is what they have seen. So please make sure you give the appropriate email ID. And if you want to make any changes, do it in this step itself. Next up, you'll have to give your date of birth. So I'll just give my date of birth as let's say 2000. Okay, select a residing state. So you can again choose wherever you reside, and then I can select the city, and over here gender. These are pretty simple steps. So we can select the 10th roll number. Okay, the 10th standard roll number what will be having your certificates. Right, please make sure that is also legit enough. Here again you'll have to give a proper mobile number. So here there's again a validation process, right? So you'll have to click on generate OTP and type the captcha. So SX3BRUT, submit. Click on OK. So please have patience again. This would be pretty much quick, but yeah, again you'll have to have patience. Just type it again. Okay, I'll just give validate OTP. OTP has been validated successfully, right? So that step is very, very important, without which your credentials will not be validated, and your phone numbers and mail ID will not be validated. Next up, we can choose educational qualification. So whichever your relevant educational qualification is, you can select whichever that is. Here I'll just select graduation month and year of passing. So yeah, let me just keep it that way. Next up, institution name. So you can directly click on the button over here. It says that click on the button, so click on the button over here, and you can search for your institution name. So I'll just go ahead and type institution name. Let's just filter it related to the state over here. Choose at least one flight area. Search. Okay. So once you search, you'll have all these colleges. So if it is not listed, so even after searching it is not listed, you can click on others, and as soon as you click on others, you can see institution name will pop up, right? But if it already shows an institution name, you can directly click on that, and that will get highlighted automatically, right? So that is one thing for you to note over here. Next up, this is very, very important, the test details. So if you are a fresh registrant, obviously you'll have to take up the cognitive test. So the cognitive test is nothing but your aptitude test, which will comprise of your numerical ability, verbal ability, and reasoning ability. So that you do not have an option for no, right? You'll have to click yes. Next up is your attitudinal alignment NQT. So that's a psychometric test. Rest everything are optional, right? So apart from your cognitive test, rest everything are optional. But if you click on this read more option, what you have over here, they have mentioned that most companies expect you to have your psychometric profile. So TCS is also advising, and we would also advise you to click a yes over here. That's a very simple test related to personality, which you would have to take hardly for a 15-20 minutes of duration. So there's no pain in writing this particular test, guys. So you'll only have advantages. So please make sure you click on yes. Even if you do not want to give this, you can click on no, but we would advise you to click on yes. Next up, the industry NQT part. So industry NQT specifically, if you want to go to the other third party corporates via your NQT scores. So if you want to do that, you can click on yes. Or you just want to get the NQT scores, you do not want to apply via this particular page to the third party companies, you can click on no, or however your choices. I'll just click on yes. Again, the subject NQT, there are three basic variants. So the first variant, again, as you've known already, or if you have not, it is related to the programming logic part and your coding part. So if you want to take up that particular part, you can click on yes over here. Now, in subject NQT, out of three, you can only choose two options, which means that between IT programming and basic computer skills, you can choose one. And accountant, if you want to choose, or if you do not want to choose, you'll have an option. So you can see over here, when I have chosen IT programming, the other part, right, the basic computer skill, it is grayed out. So I'll not be able to choose yes or no over here. And if I choose no to IT programming, then I can choose yes to basic programming skills. So the ultimate thing is you cannot choose both. That is both IT programming and basic computer skills. You'll have to choose either one of these. And then if you are interested in accounting parts and you want to deal with the exams related to the accountant aspects, okay, all these topics, then you'll have to click on yes. If you do not want to do write that particular test, you can click on no. So that's about the variants of NQT, and you can see that there is only one variant over here for even the fresh registrants. Only information technology is given, whereas in the official page you can see that there are other two variants as well. So not to fret about it, because for time being TCS has only opened information technology variant. When it opens the other variants, you probably might be given an update related to it, and you might have to take the test again. Alright, so this is about the test. Next, the test is going to be offline, so it is obvious that the examination centers will be open for you to take up the test. That is the TCS Yon assessment centers, and this will be relevant to whatever states you give. Okay, so let me just give a relevant state. Yeah. So here you can anyway change this till the registration closes. But two things you'll have to take care over here. The registration is only for the first 2 lakh participants, which you might have already seen in the official landing page. And one more thing what you'll have to take care is, if the total occupancy of this particular city or this particular state is filled, then you might not be able to change it. For example, in Tamil Nadu, just taking a very simple number for you to understand, let's say there are 100 participants who are eligible to take up the test in the center. If already 100 participants have filled their preferences, then you'll not be able to select Tamil Nadu. Then you'll have to go to the nearest states and then take up the test. For example, Telangana or Karnataka or Kerala, right? Same thing related to your city preferences. Okay, so if Vellore has already finished its occupancy, you'll not be able to select it. So for time being, it's still there. That's why I'm able to select it. Next, are you person with disability? You can select this accordingly. You would have to upload your photo over here. So let me just quickly upload my photo. And while uploading the photo, you'll have to take care of these parameters. It should be maximum of 1 MB, and it should be of JPEG and JPG format only. Right, so let me just quickly browse my photo and upload. Alright, so I have uploaded my photo. So the last step is nothing but you'll have to enter the captcha. So again, be careful over here, or else it'll ask you to repeat the entire process again. So 8 and finally you give a tick mark over here towards the declaration, and you click on submit. So once you click on submit, all your details will be popping up, And you'll also be getting a NQT number. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, or if you want to make a note of this particular number, you can do that. All the details will anyway be emailed to you once they cross verify all the things, right? So here again, all the details have been given, all the tests which you have chosen have been given, uh, right? So city preferences are also given. So can you edit anything over here? So let's just check that. Just wait for some time. Yeah. So I can see, as I told, the email ID and the phone number has been grayed out, which means you'll not be able to make any changes further. So if you're a fresh registrant, you'll only be given a chance once to make changes to your email ID and phone number. So please make sure that you make use of it if you read it, right? So if you need it, please make use of it. Furthermore, you'll not be allowed to make any changes. So the confirmation message will also be sent once you have clicked on submit. If you want to make any changes to the city preferences or the tests and all the things will be made editable, except for your mail ID and phone number. All right. So if you're done with this, you can click on close, and yeah, that's it for the registration process. So once the registration process is confirmed, you'll both be getting a message via the phone number, whatever you have given, and a mail to your respective email IDs. So all the best. All right. So now let's check if you have already registered to TCS NQT once. How or what are the changes that you'll have to make in order to get selected for the NQT that's held up for February 18th and 19th. So first up, let's go to the browser. So whatever you have, then this would be the link. So learning.tcsionhub.in /hub/national qualifier test. So the link will also be provided in the description, so you need not worry about having a look at each and every spelling. So you click enter. So once you're inside that particular link, this is how the landing page will look like. So you can see the test dates are 18th, 19th. So all the announcements will be done over here. So similarly, the closing dates have also been given. So let's not worry about the sample test and all the other details for time being. We are only going to concentrate on registration process, right? So even if you are a person who has already registered, you would have to click on register now button. So when you click on register now button, what happens is this window will pop up, right? So if you have logged in already, it'll say your name and email ID, and it'll say that okay, welcome back to this particular landing page. So if you haven't logged in already, you can log in using the login button what you'll be having over here. So if you have logged in through any of the social media credentials, you can also do that. Last time what had happened is most of you had forgotten the passwords and all that. There was a mishap. So please make sure that whatever passwords or whatever sites you had used, you remember it this time, right? So that there will not be any havoc in between. So what I'll do is I'll just click on continue with Google, and I'll give my email ID. And once I've given my email ID, you can see the page is loading to a different, it's redirecting itself. Okay, so right, so this is exactly how it will look, the redirected page. So this is how it will look. So if you just wanted to have a look at all the details what you had filled in the previous October wala NQT, so you just have to scroll down and you can click on this close the button what you have over here. Or if you want to make any changes, which we of course want to do, if we want to appear for the NQT that's going to happen in February, you'll have to click on this edit application button that you've got over here. So once you click on edit application, the form what you had seen in the previously, right? The entire form will be given, but you'll be having the access to edit it now. All right, so all these things will pop up on your screen. Now you can see that the email ID is grayed out, which means you cannot change the email ID, and your phone number is grayed out, which means you cannot change the phone number. So here the thing is that you cannot change your email ID and phone number because Your scores which you have got from the previous NQT will directly be linked to your email IDs and the phone numbers, right? So you'll not be able to make any changes to these two parameters. So rest everything, even if they are grayed out, you'll be able to click on them, and once you click on them, you can see that the name pops up, and you can just click outside if you do not want to make any changes. If you want to make any changes, you can directly go ahead and do that. So if you do not want to make any changes, please make sure that you click inside the grade block and you click outside once, or else the changes will not be taken into consideration. So again, I'll make changes over here. The second name here, it's already not grayed out. So state, I'll just click again, Maharashtra, right, Pune. So your gender has to be selected. Okay, next up, your 10th roll numbers, whichever you had given before, the same thing has to be given. So I'll just enter the number. Okay, so after that, educational qualifications, again, you can see that they have been inserted. Just to make sure, it'll stay there, you can just click inside the block and you can choose it again. So this, yeah, again, you can click it outside. If you want to make any changes to the college name, you can do that. So you can browse over here and you can do that the same way what you had done previously. So here are the test details. So this is the very important part where you'll have to be careful. So you can click on read more. Anyway, there are instructions given over here related to how you can fill the test. That's exactly what we're going to look now. So NQT, you have something called as cognitive tests. Now this is nothing but your aptitude test where you have got your cons, logical and verbal part. Yeah, so if you click on the I button, if you just hover over it, you'll see all these things, right? So cognitive test will comprise of your numerical ability, verbal ability and reasoning ability. So the no button is already grayed out, so you'll not be able to click no, which means that even if you have taken NQT, even if you have not taken NQT before, you would have to click yes. That's because this is the mandatory part which you'll have to take up. Correct. So you'll have to click yes over here, and you will anyway not have any option to click on no. Now all the other parts, they are totally optional this time. So here the psychometric test, right? So uh, you can see the fifth point over here. So most of the companies expect to have your psychometric profile, right? So when they have already told that most of the companies expect you to have your psychometric profile ready. So there's no point in you keeping a no over there, right? Because they are advising you to keep a yes and take up the test, and it is pretty easy. It'll probably finish up with like 15-20 minutes of duration, right? So you can anyway go ahead and click on yes over here. So you do not have to worry about learning any formulas or coding parts. It's a simple test related to your personality, right? So you can click on yes over here. But having said that, again, it's optional. But I and both, again, the TCS is advising you to take this particular test. So that is why I clicked yes over here. So next, coming up to industry NQT. So related to your NQT scores, if you want to get into any corporates, right? So if you want to get into any other companies via your NQT score, then you would have to click on yes to this particular part as well. So certain companies, again, as TCS says, they would need a specific test from the third party company's end related to the information technology or whatever variants they would provide, right? So you can click on yes over here if you want to take up that additional test. You can click on no over here if you do not want to take up that particular test. Okay, so I'll just keep yes over here. Now subject NQT is one more thing which is optional, right? So here what happens is, last time when you had taken the NQT test in October, you had the subject NQT, which comprised of your programming logic and coding, right? The coding section. So if you just hover over the I button over here on the IT program subject NQT variant, so I can see that again it's the same thing, right? So the programming logic and the hands-on exercise. Hands-on exercise is nothing but your coding part. So it is similar to whatever you had in the October end, right? So this IT programming variant of subject NQT is whatever you had in the October end. So if you want to improve your scores related to that as well, then you can click on yes over here. If you do not want to improve your scores or increase your scores related to that, you can click on no. Again, this would be optional. Your same old scores related to the previous subject NQT will be considered. So when you click on yes, there is a small thing that you'll have to notice is you can only select two out of I'm sorry, you can only select two out of these three variants of subject NQT. So one will be an option between IT programming and basic computer skills, which means that if you have selected IT programming, you'll not be able to select basic computer skills. So let's click on no now and check. So yeah, now you'll be able to select basic programming skills. Right now, you might be having a question. I had taken IT programming in the October part. Now, can I take basic computer skills? Of course, yes, you can do that. You have an option to do that. But the scores will be updated as the related to the basic computer skills and not to your subject NQT what you had taken in the October. So that would be the small difference. So I'll just click on yes to IT programming variant of subject NQT. And if you also want to take up the accountant subject NQT, you can do that. So you have got an option to take that as well, right? So once these options have been finished, then you can go ahead for the fourth step, that is the examination details. Now, before we go to the fourth step, that is the examination details, you'll have to take care of or you might have one more doubt over here. The industry NQT had three variants, right? So over here, you have got an option only to select one variant. Now you need not worry about it because industry NQT will be conducted when the companies, the third party companies will approach you, or when you may approach to the companies having a score, having a very good score related to NQT, right? So for time being, TCS has only introduced the information technology industry NQT, and the other variants are not included. So when they will include this, you'll be getting an update via email or however the communication will be, and you can select the industry NQT accordingly. All right. So for time being, you just have the information technology part. So let's go to the fourth step, that is examination details. So as you already know, it's going to happen offline, which means that you'll have to go to the centers of TCS, the TCS EON assessment centers in your respective localities, right? So for that, you'll have to first of all select the locality where you want to take up the test. So let's just take the same locality. Yeah, okay, fine. So the locality has been selected. Now the last part is, are you a person with disability? You can choose this accordingly. Upload your photo. Now you'll already be having your photo which you had uploaded in the October end. So if you want to drop a new photo, you can do that using this browse button. But please make sure that it passes all these criteria, right? So it is within 1 MB and only JPEG and JPEG formats are allowed. Right, so you close this part, you click on the, you type the captcha. So the captchas, you'll have to be pretty careful. Even if there's a small mistake, it'll ask you to fill up all the things again. You click on the declaration part that you agree, and you click on submit. So once you submit, what happens is, again, it will redirect you towards this particular page where you had come in the beginning, and it will also pop a NQT number. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, or if you want to make a note of this, you can do that. This anyway will be mailed to you once the changes have been noticed by their servers. So here you have got all the details which you have filled. Now you might ask me, okay, will I be able to change the state preference or the city preference, whichever I have given? Of course, yes, you have got the edit option, but it will be grayed out. So if you are trying to change it furthermore, it will be grayed out if the options are filled out. For example, in Pune, let's say there are 200 occupancies for a candidate to take up the test. All right. So if you have filled Pune already, that's okay. But let's say you have filled some other place, like let's say Mumbai, and you want to come back to Pune. I mean, you want to get the city preference to Pune. But if it is already filled up, let's say 200 occupancies are filled up, then you will not be able to choose it. So when you already have an edit option, you should also take care that there are possibilities that the city preferences and the state preferences will be filled up. So when you edit this in the first go itself, please make sure that you select the appropriate state and the city preferences. Alright, so that is one more thing. Last but not the least, this we had already put across in our social media channels. The very important thing is, yeah, you can see over here. So the registrations are limited to first 2 lakh students and on a first come first serve basis, right? So you would have to gear yourselves up. Even though the registration closes at on 10th of February 2021, if there is a lot of people, there are a lot of people who are selecting for the updated NQT, the national qualifiers test, and if it exceeds 2 lakh, then you might not be able to register. So please make sure you hurry up and you register with all the appropriate things that has to be modified, and you choose the tests accordingly, you choose the variants accordingly, and I think that should serve the purpose of you getting selected or you getting qualified for writing the test. So that's it about the registration process for the people who have already registered in the October end. Based on the huge responses and the overall conversions, whatever we had related to the last time's TCS NQT cracker, Face Prep's TCS NQT cracker is back again. And it is not just back, it is updated and it is relevant to the updates that have been made to the NQT of February 2021. So the features of the updated TCS NQT cracker from Face Prep is going to be same as the last time, but along with the updated pattern, right? So you'll be having all the questions recorded by our experts. You'll be having an inbuilt compiler where you can practice your coding questions. You can practice the assessments, and the course access will be given till February 28, which is actually 10 days away from your test dates, right? So even after your test is finished, you will be having it for 10 days. That is 28 February 21. So please make sure you enroll before the enrollment gets closed from Face Prep. The link is given in the description below. All the best, guys.
Hey YouTube, how are you doing? Stay tuned to Facebook for more awesome videos. Don't forget to subscribe.